At this time, I'd like to call the meeting for the regular council meeting for the town of Batesburg-Leesville to order. This is May 13th, 2019 at Town Hall Complex. Thank you everyone for coming out and sharing your evening with us. Appreciate it. And at this time, if Pastor Kent Suits, if you would come and lead us in an invocation, please.
Let's pray. Holy God, Father, Son, and Spirit, we thank you that you are a great God and you are a merciful God. So we ask you for your mercy tonight, ask you for your mercy on these leaders and on the town, that you would be present with us by your Spirit, and that you would give wisdom and humility to those who are in the conversations with regards to this community, that they would be filled with love and kindness, and that you would enable all of us to forgive one another's sins as we are forgiven by you of our sins, and that we would really rest in that and be able to live out of that truth. Ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Moving on to item 3, the Pledge of Allegiance. If you stand, if you will, and Mr. Gambrell, if you would lead us. Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item 4, adoption of the minutes. Item 4, approval of the agenda. I always want to run over that. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Mr. Prouse and a second by Ms. Holman. Any discussion? District 1. This is approval.
District 1 votes yes.
Thank you. District 2.
Votes yes.
District 3.
District 3 votes yes.
District 4.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
And I vote yes. The agenda has been approved by the body. Moving on to item 5, adoption of the minutes for the April 8th, 2019 regular council meeting. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Prouse and a second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 3.
District 3 votes yes.
District 4.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5. District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
And I vote yes. The minutes have been adopted for the April 8th regular council meeting. We also need to adopt the council work session minutes from April 29th. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Mr. Simpkins, second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. The minutes for the April 29th council work session have been adopted. Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's report. The next regular council meeting will be, mark your calendars, June the 10th, 2019. Moving on to item B, council committee's report. The Central Midlands COG, Councilman Olin Gambrell, do you have a report?
No, sir, not this time.
And Environmental Planning Advisory Committee, Councilman Jason Prouse, do you have a report?
No, sir, I do not.
And then moving on to Joint Municipal Water and Sewer Commission. The Joint Municipal Water and Sewer Commission met last Wednesday and started working on the budget, and the budget was presented last meeting, and it was passed this meeting. So that was really the big ticket items. They're still under construction on their office over there by US Foods, an expansion of the office, and they continue moving and putting pipes in the ground. At this time, the BL Chamber of Commerce, Mike Taylor, are you here to give us a report? Thank you for coming, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
The Batesburg-Leesville Chamber of Commerce and Business Center, like the town of Batesburg-Leesville, has been busy preparing for this past weekend. Toll-free calls for the South Carolina Poultry Festival have been extremely heavy for the past month. We held the South Carolina Poultry Festival, Batesburg-Leesville Chamber Golf Tournament this past Friday, and it was very successful. And we, like you, are truly thankful that the weather forecast for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are wrong up until 7:30 Saturday night. I see this on the agenda, but I'd like to mention something about the circus. The Kelly Miller Circus pre-sold 207 children's tickets for the circus Monday night on May the 20th. The chamber delivered those tickets. 58 of those tickets were donated back, which will go to the Batesburg-Leesville Ministerial Alliance for distribution to children that normally might not be able to have the opportunity to come. I thought this was interesting. The circus posting on the chamber Facebook page has reached 7,645 people with 936 engagements, which is most probably as big as we've ever had on that. So the interest is there. Hopefully people come to the circus. Batesburg-Leesville Chamber of Commerce and Business Center will conduct a ribbon cutting for the Palmetto Crest Sundry on Thursday, May the 23rd at 2 p.m. during their grand opening. Palmetto Crest Sundry is located 104 Main Street, Leesville Business District. They will celebrate the grand opening from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with refreshments and door prizes. The Dream Catchers are getting ready for the Peachtree 23-yard sale on Friday, May the 31st, and Saturday, June the 1st. And I know there's some type of candy thing going on, but I'm not exactly sure where that's going to suit. As I have mentioned in several past reports, the Arts on the Ridge will hold their summer camps, and I've gone into the details, so I won't do it tonight, but again, remind everybody that that will be the 24th, June 24th through the 27th at Batesburg-Leesville Middle School. The Chamber and Lexington Medical Center will conduct a free heart screening on Wednesday, June the 19th, beginning at 7:30. The screening will include blood pressure assessment, blood sugar screening tests for the risk of developing diabetes, and screening tests for coronary heart and vascular disease. Those interested need to please call the chamber and make an appointment. That's my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mike, for coming. Much appreciated. Moving on for item 7, public comment regarding items on the agenda. Ms. Judy? Nothing. Thank you. Moving on to
Quentin, when you were supposed to speak tonight?
It was late, you didn't get to sign up.
Mike was here last week.
Okay.
If it's possible, Mr. Mayor, would let Mr. Witt speak on the item, agenda item, please.
I'd have to ask permission from the body. You can't just ask permission from the body. If I could show of hands to allow Mr. Quentin to speak, just a show of hands, please. Quentin, come on up. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to speak on behalf of the basketball court that I was talking to Mr. Kane about. There's a couple of things that we have been working. We was wanting to know that if we can approve this and get this ongoing. And I'm looking forward to this, taking charge of this and getting the kids back involved and keep them off the street. And have some activities for them there in the summertime, because I know it's hot, and I want to get the kids involved in activities, keep them off the street, walking the streets. If y'all think about that, just please look around the town and look at all these young people walking around town, causing trouble or getting in trouble. I hate to see that with these kids, young kids out of school, there, some don't have anything to do. Columbia area is always taking our kids around here. So I'm just kind of saying that we need to do something around here for our kids around here in this neighborhood. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's no unfinished business this evening, so moving on to item 9, new business. We have a proclamation for Peace Officers Memorial Day 2019. And whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th, 2019 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which it falls as Police Week, and whereas the day was set forth to honor officers who gave the ultimate sacrifice, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund reported that 144 law enforcement officers lost their lives in the line of duty in 2018. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of law enforcement, and that the law enforcement agencies recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas federal, state, county, and municipal law enforcement agencies have grown into modern and scientific agencies which unceasingly provide a vital service. Do I have a motion to adopt the proclamation? Mr. Simpkins? Second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1?
She just stepped up.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
I vote yes. And District 1, this is our... Thank you. And so it has been, the proclamation has been adopted, thank you. Moving on to item B, in new business, a proclamation of the Twin City Chapter of 243 71st anniversary. I think we have some people that might be here to celebrate this. Come on up, and we'll read this proclamation. Okay. All right. Yeah, come on up and I'll read it. Yeah, don't be shy.
Jay told me I didn't need 30, but I tried to post it I could.
Whereas the Order of the Eastern Star Twin City Chapter 243 was organized in 1948 by Brother Zach Townsend, the Grand Patron of Aiken, South Carolina. And whereas Sister Cynthia B. Clark was chosen as the first worthy matron and served from 1948 to 1954, and Brother Samuel Pageant as the first worthy patron, and they were accompanied by 26 other initial members. And whereas the Masons and Eastern Stars purchased land on Howard Street to serve as home for the Masonic Lodge and Eastern Star Twin City Chapter number 243. And whereas over the course of the past 71 years, the Twin City Chapter 243 has provided significant public service through fundraisers to fund jewels at Twin City High School, funding senior trips to Washington, D.C., purchasing materials for high school curtains, Christmas baskets, donations to the Batesburg-Leesville Band, and Booster Club. Whereas the Twin City Chapter 243 has contributed over the years to flood and hurricane disaster victims. And whereas the Order of the Eastern Star, Twin City Chapter 243, is currently led by worthy matron sister Janice Carter Prelo, and worthy patron Brother Howard Rowe, and has 17 brother and sister members. And therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville that we recognize the Order of the Eastern Star Twin City Chapter 243 and their 71st anniversary as a chapter and commend their service to the public both over the years and today. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simpkins and a second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1?
Shawan votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and the mayor votes yes. Proclamation has been adopted. Moving on to new business, item C, resolution Peachtree 23 yard sale. Whereas the Peachtree 23 yard sale event will be held on Friday, May 31st and Saturday, June 1st, 2019. And whereas the Town Council of Batesburg-Leesville will, for these days only, waive the $5 permit fee for any yard sale held on Highway 23. Therefore, be it further resolved that this is in effect for Friday, May 31st and Saturday, June the 1st. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Mr. Simpkins, and a second by
Move.
Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1,
Shawan votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. The resolution has been adopted. Moving on to item D, first reading ordinance consenting to the addition of 25.57 acres of real property in the Batesburg-Leesville Industrial Park into the multi-county industrial park with the County of Lexington and County of Calhoun. Do I have a motion
Motion to
to
adopt.
accept first reading? To adopt, thank you, Mr. Simpkins. Second by Olin. Any discussion?
Is somebody going to explain? You have some folks here, Ted? I do. Okay.
Who would you like to speak, manager? Would you like to speak, or would you like Lexington County to speak?
I can start real quick, and then Mike Edis can come up, and if there are any questions, he can answer them.
Go ahead.
So the county, Lexington County, has requested that the town agree via this ordinance to a multi-county industrial park designation for parcel number 3, which will provide for a simplified fee in lieu of taxes arrangement for the C.R. Jackson asphalt plant project. Had a white paper that went a little bit further in explaining what
Thank you for the white paper.
what a multi-county park designation is. But I also asked Director of Economic Development, Mike Edis with Lexington County, if he would come tonight in case there were further questions beyond the white paper.
Okay, if there are any questions beyond the white paper that was in the packet, if you would, Mr. Edis is here to answer our questions.
Now, why is it multi-county?
The agreement will be between Lexington County and the County of Calhoun.
Why? I'm not understanding why we're partnering with Calhoun County.
I didn't understand your question.
I'm not understanding why we are partnering with Calhoun County.
Well, we could partner with any adjacent county, but Lexington County has a long history of partnering. I don't know how many of these parks we have, but it's numerous parks with Calhoun. It's just traditional. We got a couple with Newberry that go way back, but
What is Calhoun County going to be doing? What is their relationship with the parks?
they are partners in the park and will get 1% of the tax revenue out of this park. And conversely, when they have a project, for example, the Zoos project, which is under construction, right now, they entered into agreement with us, and we get 1% of that revenue in Lexington County. The benefit to the company, and I'm not sure it applies in this case, but generally the benefit to the company is that there is a job tax credit from against state corporate income tax that varies by the economic health of a county. In our case, in Lexington County, it's $1,500 per job per year for 5 years, but if you partner with another county, that goes up to $2,500 per job.
Okay, I got it. So the company is manufacturing asphalt, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And we are being good partners, good neighbors with the county, Lexington County and Calhoun County, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now we have at least 3 streets in my district that would benefit from resurfacing. Is there any way that we can make sure that we, you get what I'm cooking, Ted?
Not gonna say we can't have conflict.
Okay, all right.
There's no promises.
I'm just saying, because Sister Johnson came here last month, and we talked about that, but if they make an asphalt in our backyard, you know, I'd like to see Maple Street, Highland Street, and Oak Street, you know, get resurfaced, but.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mayor,
yeah, the floor.
could we perhaps put this on the agenda for further discussion?
Right now, we're in discussion on the first reading for this ordinance.
I was responding to the specific streets.
Oh, certainly, then this is, that, we can address that later in the agenda.
But is that proper, Council?
Thank you.
Yeah, is that proper? To ask
It
it?
has nothing to do with this joint powder.
Well, I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think,
I mean, it may, I can see there could be a benefit from certainly from having the asphalt plant in the neighborhood and perhaps get a lesser, better price because it's in your backyard, but beyond that, I haven't.
It still costs.
Well, I mean,
You
still-
can't get asphalt free.
Well, I understand that, but
Transportation costs would be less because you don't have to take it as far. So it does help.
well, how do we get that onto the county's agenda? You know, it's a big wait list, but,
Yeah, I have reported every one that you have asked me to report, but I don't make that decision because you have all of Lexington County that needs roads resurfaced as well. So
Okay.
I have put them all on the agenda. Now, whether it's next year or within 5 years, I cannot predict that. But yeah, I have reported all those.
okay, well, let them know that, you know, if we got asphalt in our backyard, we.
They know that.
Okay,
But
but we
that
certainly
doesn't
want to
make
be.
it free, okay?
I don't want it free, I don't want anything free, I just want to make sure that we get it in a timely fashion since we've been good neighbors.
Yeah, you're right, I'll do the best I can, but
Thank
it will help us because that lowers the transportation costs, so maybe that'll shift some over this way more than in the past.
Well, I certainly
thank you,
appreciate it.
Mr. Regan.
All right?
Thank you, guys.
Any other discussion? Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes?
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. First reading of the ordinance consenting to the addition of the 25.57 acres to the industrial park, multi-county industrial park, has been accepted. Moving on to item E, discussion regarding request by council member for funds to attend National League of Cities Small Cities Conference. Mr. Luckadoo, is there something that you would like to discuss on this?
So Councilman Kane had contacted me about the National League of Cities, the Small Cities Summit that's coming up July 10th through the 13th, 2019 in Camden. He expressed his interest in attending this. Ultimately, there would be no registration costs. It would just be the hotel stay, travel arrangements that would need to be funded. Due to how we have council funding structured right now at $1,500 a member per year, with the Municipal Association meeting this past year, I've told him that he would need to discuss with council some additional funding. Bring that request to you guys for approval. So.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
So move.
No. I need a specific motion, please.
What is the motion? The motion is that we
work it out with Mr. Luckady if you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, the motion is just to make funds available for myself to attend.
Is this unlimited funds, Mr. Kane, or is this specific funds, Mr. Kane?
Well, I don't know, how much was the hotel?
What I came up with based on the hotel room would be about $600 for the hotel stay.
Okay, so we move that we do, sorry, don't worry about it. I'll you don't just go and say the hotel, you got to get there.
Well, we're not to discussion yet, we can get there.
Okay.
I got a motion.
All right.
I'm gonna get a motion so we can have a discussion, please. Thank you.
Okay.
So motion first.
All right, my motion is that we free up $850 for myself and I guess any other account. I guess let's just get through that one first, Charles. So for myself to attend the Small Cities Conference, which is sponsored by the National League of Cities, which I'm on the national board of the Small City Council. So that's my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, motion dies.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Moving on to item 10, manager's report. Mr. Luckady, you have the floor.
All right. First thing we would like to do tonight, it's been a while, we used to do this, it's been a while since we've done this, and we thought about it and said it's a really good idea that we get back into doing this, but it's recognizing new employees that have been hired by the town. If they can attend, we would like for them to attend and introduce them to council so that you can get to know the employees. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a lot of them here tonight, but wanted to go ahead and mention their names and that they're a part of the town. Al Wilson is here tonight, our new code enforcement officer. If you would stand up, put your hand in there. Really excited about Al, really good personality, very outgoing, has about 23 years in law. 34, sorry. 34 years of law enforcement background, but doesn't really want to do law enforcement anymore and wanted to go the code enforcement route, and we're super excited about him. In a couple weeks he's been here, he's done a magnificent job learning, so happy to have him. Tim Roof, dispatcher with the PD, could not be here tonight. Chaz Collins, a volunteer firefighter. F.H. Anderson, a volunteer firefighter. Raymond Mullenberg, Chief, did I get that right? Good. Volunteer firefighter. Travis A. Lewine, volunteer firefighter. Sean Bryant, volunteer firefighter. And Eric Herringsall, volunteer firefighter. So Chief was telling me that our new recruiting and retention officer is doing a wonderful job bringing a lot of volunteer firefighters on. As well, I know we'll be discussing this later, so I would like to lump this into the new employee, but we have Miss Mitzi Campbell-Williams who did attend tonight that, for Indigent Defense Services that we were discussing. All right, so moving on, that was our new employees since January. Next item, some events that we have coming up are just ended. Poultry Festival, not a lot to say, despite the washout on Saturday night. We did have a successful poultry festival, and as Mike Taylor stated, the weather was great despite the many forecasts that called for rain all night, Friday night, Saturday. Just to have it Saturday night, we feel fortunate based on what the forecasts were. I would just like to thank the Poultry Festival Steering Committee and all the volunteers for the Poultry Festival for everything that they do every year to make that event great. So, the Kelly Miller Circus, Mike hit on that. I don't think there's much more I need to add other than the show on the night of May 20th will be at 5:30 and 8 in the field right beside the Leisure Center. Do what you can to help promote ticket sales. Morgan's Pharmacy, Bob's Ace Hardware, B&L Chamber of Commerce, Town Hall, or they can go online at www.bestcircus.com and get their tickets there.
Did they get a business license?
At this point, there is not. That's something we're discussing with them.
Okay.
Peachtree 23 yard sale. We hit on that with the resolution Friday, May 31st and Saturday, June 1st, from Batesburg-Leesville to Ward, South Carolina on Highway 23. The MASC annual meeting, I had sent council an email. I would ask if you guys could get your registration forms if you plan on attending the annual meeting this year. Get those registration forms. We did not do very well in our drawing this year, our lottery drawing for picking order. We were 125th out of 270 municipalities, so we are picking on the last day. So make sure when you're looking at the hotels, you really think about your second and third options as much as your first option as well.
Can we go to Spartanburg out there?
If you want to make that drive from Spartanburg to Greenville every day, certainly we can look at that. So if you guys could give me your registration form by Friday, May 24th, we will be selecting at 1 o'clock on May 30th. We'll be doing the actual registration. So try to get us those registration forms by the 24th if you can, please. We've talked with Lexington County Recreation and Aging, and they have agreed to do at least a couple movie nights in the park this summer. So we are working with them. We have not designated the dates and times at this point. What's that?
Who's doing it?
Lexington County Recreation and Aging Commission.
And they're gonna do the one at the Twin City Park, you said?
I didn't say that, but we have not finalized any destinations or dates or times. They have just committed to a couple dates for us.
Do you
this
not
summer.
like downtown Batesburg? We're gonna, if it's two of them, right?
I certainly think we can look at one over here and one over here. Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
That wouldn't be a problem.
All right.
All right, some project updates. SCDOT sidewalk project. I want to give the contracting crew some kudos on what they did to dress that area up, the construction work, moving all the cones and barricades back and getting the dirt backfilled to make it look good for the Poultry Festival. I don't know if you've had a chance to ride the sidewalks, looking outstanding. Once they get the grass put on that dirt, it'll really, really shine well. Noticed today that they're working right up near the corner of North Lee and Highway 1, which is the last little bit that they have left to do from having phase 1 completed. So they've done all the way from the Black Dog Inn to the gas station there on the corner of Highway 1 and North Lee. So I look for them to more or less wrap up the sidewalk portion of this by the end of this week. As well, we communicated this past week with the DOT staff about getting that phase 2 funding in place, the additional $400,000. We've been working on some financial components of that. Once we finalize and get it to them, hopefully they'll make a decision quick on that $400,000, and we can go ahead and get phase 2 out for bid. So. The master plan study, as a reminder, this Thursday night from 5 to 7:30, we will have a community input session here at Town Hall this Thursday night. We would invite the community to come in, share your thoughts on both the downtown business districts, both of our town-owned parks, and the Haynes Auditorium. This is your chance to get some initial input into this study so that they can incorporate those thoughts as they go through this study.
Is that in the Twin City newspaper?
We've let them know, so my hope is that they will have that in to come out Wednesday and Thursday, but I know we've let them know about it.
It's on our website?
Yep, we've got the information out there.
Okay.
And we will be doing a lot of Facebook and website push about this week.
All right. What's that time again, too?
It's from 5 to 7:30 Thursday night. Additionally, they'll be here beginning at 9 o'clock that day. It's going to start with a tour of each of these locations just to do an initial site assessment. And then we'll move into some staff meetings. And I also had emailed council members about, there's 3 time frames, asking if you guys, I know a lot of you work during the day, and I don't know if you'll be able to make it, but they're asking for, they would like to sit down with council members 3 at a time during those time frames to discuss with y'all. They are going to come back and do a group discussion with council as a whole, but initially they were going to try and get some thoughts from council members. So if y'all can look at those time frames too, I think right now I've got 3 people slotted for that day. Would like to get the rest of you on the agenda if you can make it. So during one of those time frames, just let me know which one. Water alternative study. To date, Hazen and Sawyer has completed stakeholder meetings with Saluda County Water and Sewer Authority, the Joint Municipal Water and Sewer Commission, Gilbert Summit Rural Water District, and the town of Bridge Spring to discuss the relationships and what options and potentials are there. And they will be following up on those discussions as a part of their study and probably going to be going back to them for some follow-up questions over the next couple months. They are going to set up a meeting with Saluda County Council to also have a discussion with them regarding the encroachment permit here soon.
How much are we paying for that study?
There's not an exact amount. I know what was approved was a ballpark because we did an RFQ versus an RFP. There's not a specific price.
How much?
I think that was going to be in the range of 60 to 80 based on what they gave.
60 to 80,000.
Yes, sir.
Respect it. Say it with some respect.
60 to 80,000.
Okay.
All right. They're about 4 to 5 weeks into the study. Got roughly about 8 to 10 weeks left. Over the next few weeks, they will be setting up a time to come back and update council on where they stand and what they found at this point, and see if there's any direction that needs to be given by council, should they be at any type of roadblock with one and need to seek advice. So they will be setting something up here in the next few weeks to come to you guys and update you. The Brody Mill Pump Station remediation. We've been working with Lexington County CDBG staff to get this project going. Again, they awarded us $240,000 to go in and make improvements to the Brody Mill Pump Station. We have ordered the new pumps for this project and got permission to go ahead and get those ordered and built so that we can get this process started much quicker. All environmental evaluations are being completed as a part of the grant. We are having the electrical components of the pump station evaluated. And while there's not much physical work being done on this project right now, all the preliminary work is being done so that we can get this project started as quickly as possible once those pumps come in.
How much are the pumps?
I cannot remember the individual pump costs right off the top of my head.
You just put one pump there, right?
It was 2.
You putting 2 pumps there?
There's 2 sump pumps in there.
And do we have money to do like a little reservoir around there or no?
Not as a part of this grant. No, sir.
Okay.
You're talking about to actually dig out and create a basin.
So we can have water.
Not as a part of this $240,000.
I would have rather spent $60,000 or $80,000 than be paying somebody to study our water and actually build something out so we can actually have water. Okay.
As I just know it's not a part of that funding. The wastewater treatment plant chemical feed system CDBG project, County Council did award us for 2019 $395,634 to be put towards redoing the chemical feed systems at the wastewater treatment plant. These funds will not be available until July 1st, but at this point we have begin what surveying will need to be done for our actual plans that will have to be put together for this. As well, we've already got environmental reviews being done. That way, when the money is dropped on July 1st, we'll be able to get that project started much faster. Had a conversation this past week. We did complete a grant funding application this spring with Rural Infrastructure Authority to replace the current centrifuge operations with a rotary filter press system and to install 2 new screw pumps and perform some headwork modifications where the sewer comes into the plant. Total projected project cost for this is $1,218,000, to which RIA typically funds up to $500,000. Again, at this point, our application has been put in. Ms. Bonnie Amons, Executive Director of Rural Infrastructure, and Ms. Jackie Mack, the Program Manager for our projects in the past and would be our project manager for this one, did call me the other day, and they expressed their understanding of our needs and the financial burdens that we do have, and they let us know that they've got some opportunities this year that they normally don't have in other years, and they're actually going to go to their board with a recommendation to fund us $800,000 this year. And I know on a typical year it's a maximum of $500,000, but they called and extended us an $800,000 offer this year. The board still has to approve it, but they feel confident. They're going to make the recommendation to the board, and they feel confident it will be approved.
And what about the aeration system?
I will tell you, I'm looking next year to do a joint.
Can you use the extra $300,000 to do something with aeration?
Well, I think if we could do this year, I've got a plan for next year that I want to sit down with Rural Infrastructure and Lexington County CDBG together, and I would like to do a funding application request with CDBG and Rural Infrastructure at the same time and try and get the majority of that cost covered.
How much you think it's going to be?
I think floating aeration would probably be around the $1.5 million range. But I think if we could do a joint CDBG and joint RIA venture next year, both grant entities love joint ventures, so it would be very appealing to them, and that's our intent for next year.
Please keep us up to date on that, because that's very important.
And I'll tell you, these 2 that we're addressing with this are 2 very critical needs as well that we need to handle. So,
Ted, who's running the wastewater treatment plant currently?
I'm sorry.
Who's running the wastewater treatment plant currently?
Angie Atkins and Joy Rivers, and we've got Elmer Brown.
Who's in charge?
Angie Atkins.
Are we planning to replace our utilities director?
We've put a job posting out there, and we've had a couple people interested in it submit resumes. So,
Well, why are we doing that?
because it would be nice to have somebody overseeing those 3
Well,
facilities.
Angie's been overseeing it since she was 13 years old.
Right.
And well, I mean, she's been there forever, and Jimmy's doing a good job at the water plant. Why don't we need to incur another $80,000 employee?
I think from the standpoint of managing these grant projects, it's very good to have a director of utilities there overseeing these projects and applying for these grants and overseeing the projects that come with this.
Yeah, that's why we got a town manager, an assistant town manager, and a financial director. But you need to really start thinking about putting that money, that salary money, into the actual infrastructure of improving that plant. Because you talk about $1.5 million, I mean, $80,000, that's not nothing to sneeze at. Plus, you know, so you're looking at almost $90,000 in people costs.
And we've got a budget work session Wednesday night that I think maybe we have to be more proper
look at that. You might want to take that, you know, you might want to think about not filling that position until we get the wastewater treatment plant actually where we want it to be. I mean, that's $90,000, dude. But go ahead.
C-Fund sidewalk repair project. We did submit the RFP for sidewalk repairs to the South Carolina Business Opportunities website and posted on the town's website on April 26th. We held a mandatory pre-bid conference this past Tuesday, May 7th, to go over the sidewalks included in the bid posting and to answer any questions from those contractors interested in bidding. The responses are due to us by this Friday, the 17th, at 4 o'clock. We will evaluate those responses and come back to council for funding and selection of the contractor once we've evaluated those. And we'll bring that back to you guys on June 10th's meeting. We would anticipate these sidewalk repairs to take place around August 2019 if we can get the contractor selected in June. The locations that we provided in the RFP are along Wilson Street, North Pine Street, and East and West Columbia sections within East and West Columbia Avenue. The last thing that I have for the evening is the consent order. Our response to the updated consent order is due by this Thursday. We are prepared to have that submitted by this Thursday. With regards to the security gates at the water plant, which was listed in the consent order, we put an RFP out for the installation of new automatic security gates and have held a pre-bid conference with interested contractors at this point. Bids will be received soon, and we will come to council as well at the June 10th regular meeting with the bids and contractors that we get that respond back to them. We have drafted the valve maintenance program and hydrant flushing portion of the consent order and are ready to submit that along with our response. So you can put a check mark beside that item. And if we get the security gate done, we'll be able to put a check mark beside that item. One of the other things was new chemical metering pumps that needed to be replaced at the water plant. We have actually ordered those metering pumps and have them on the way and are hoping to have them installed by the 1st of June. So that would be another item that we are able to take care of very quickly. It appears that we have most all the items in the new order completed minus the water source quantity, which the study is taking place and that will be brought back to council for discussion on that.
The water quality, what they're asking us to do is to have another dedicated water source, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We need additional water.
Right. Now, you have them tearing up Roddy Road Station, right? They're gonna put a new pump station down there, right?
Right. Well, and they're gonna remediate the current station that's there with new equipment.
Right. And then, so if you add a reservoir.
Is that part of the, is this part of the consent?
We already own, wouldn't that make kind of sense?
That was not a direction given to me by council.
Well, I'm just saying, but that just makes sense. Part of the consent order is that we have another source of water, right?
I cannot.
And we already pumping water from Roddy Road, right? So we expand that area. That satisfies that consent.
I think the initial concern that I would have with that is if we're hitting the drought, sometimes Brody Mill doesn't overflow, which would not feed that.
That's why you
if we
dig the reservoir deep.
Then we would be in the same position.
No. If you dig the reservoir deep down, when the water comes and when the drought comes, you'll still have water in there. You might not get more water coming across, but you'll have a reservoir of water.
I would encourage you to talk with the other council members who can provide the direction to me if this is a direction that they would want to go and study.
How much is the gate for the?
We're waiting on the RFP response. It's not sure at this time.
Okay.
We've got to get the responses back.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Mayor, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to item 11, executive session. We have 4 items for tonight's executive session. Item A, discussion of contractual matters relating to indigent defense services. Item B, discussion of contractual matters relating to building inspection services for the town. Item C, discussion of proposed lease agreement with Twin City Alumni Association for proposed basketball court. Item D, discussion of contractual matters relating to the town manager employment contract. Do I have a motion to enter an executive session? Motion by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5? District 6,
Oh, shit.
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and the mayor votes yes. We are now into executive session. Thank you.
Motion to re-enter regular session.
I have a motion to re-enter a regular council meeting by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
District 3 votes yes.
District 4,
District 4 vote yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and the mayor votes yes. We are back in regular session. Thank you very much. Possible actions by council and follow-up to executive session. Item A, are there any motions for the contractual matters relating to indigent defense services?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the contract as presented tonight during executive session.
We have a motion by Mr. Prouse. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Holman? Or
Maybe.
Ms. Holman, thank you. Any discussion?
I think we should name who the contract would be with.
I can chime in if I need to. It'd be with attorney Mitzi Campbell Williams.
Very good.
Thank you. Any other discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
District 3 votes yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. The contract has been approved. Thank you. Are there any motions relating to building inspection services for the town?
Make a motion, we accept what was discussed in the executive session.
We don't know that.
Be a little more specific, Mr. Gambrell?
I can provide some clarification on what was presented.
Clarification, please.
This would be an amendment to the original temporary contract that we did that would extend the building inspection services to June 30th, 2019.
Let's see.
Second.
Thank you so much. Motion by Mr. Kane, second by Mr. Simpkins. Mr. Gambrell, sorry. Gambrell. Sorry. And any discussion on that? District 1? This is safe bill. Thank you. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And I vote yes. It passes. Motion passes. Moving on to item C. Are there any motions related to a proposed lease agreement with the Twin City Alumni Association basketball court lease agreement?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we extend $100,000.
Just look at me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's getting late. Mr. Mayor, I move that we direct staff and administration to do an RFP for construction of a basketball court and TCP explore insurance requirements for such project. Twin City Park.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kane, second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And mayor votes yes. Motion passes. Moving on to item D, possible action relating to the town manager's employment contract. Do we have any possible actions from?
Mr. Mayor, I don't think we have any action on that at this time.
Direction was done within executive session. All right, thank you. Potential agenda items for next month's meeting, June the 10th, 2019. Do we have any items to add at this time?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to submit this to the town manager. I received a petition from citizens on Maple Street for, I'll read it to you. It says, "We undersigned residents of Maple Street in the town of Batesburg-Leesville do herewith petition the town to place traffic safety speed bumps along Maple Street." So Whether we want to tackle that or make that a work session item, I'll leave that up to you, council.
So this is actually, okay, is there a motion to, would there be a motion, Mr. King, then to add this to the agenda?
That's just information.
Information only? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we might want to get a cost estimate
It's $200.
per,
We're bumping.
how many bullets?
Do we have a motion, Mr. Gambrell?
Yes, sir, we need to have the cost of that so that we can proceed with it whenever it comes in. The state highway department would be able to give us a.
Hold on, what?
Point of order.
Point of order, thank you.
It's not on the agenda, I think.
It's not on the agenda. Thank you. We need to put it on the agenda. Thank you.
Well, I think you can give that to, you know, Mayor, he probably would.
Okay.
take care of
I
that.
can always explore
Thank
and
you.
follow up with council.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have a question going back. Did we do what we need to do from executive session?
Yes,
With
ma'am.
the contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other agenda items? Thank you.
Move we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Gambrell, second by Ms. Whittle. She yelled the loudest. Any discussion? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
4?
4 votes yes.
5? 6?
Yes.
7?
Yes.
8?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We are adjourned.